This episode of Twin Cities Trekkies is brought to you by Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor before, let me explain. First of all, it's free. There are creation tools that help you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. You can easily make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership required. They'll also help you to distribute your podcast so it can be heard on many different platforms, such as Spotify and Apple Podcasts. It's all you need in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. All right. Welcome to episode 32 of Twin Cities Trekkies. I am Wes.
And I'm Kenzie.
And today is going to be an overview of Star Trek Lower Decks Season 2. Cause the reason why I wanted to do this because I wanted to talk about at least the last few minutes of the season finale. But, talk about the whole season in general. So
and heads up, I have not finished watching it just due to personal life things, but I will be talking about all of it because I'm actually a fan of talking about this things I haven't watched. Like things don't get spoiled for me. I don't get spoiled by not knowing something and then finding out about it. So that I'm totally fine talking about this because I've heard about the season finale.
Yes. Yeah, so get in touch with us. It's simple. Send us an email at tctrekkiespodcast@gmail.com. Send us an email. You definitely will read your email and stuff like that. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram. The handle is tctrekkiespod. Or you can send us a voice message by going to anchor.fm/Twin Cities Trekkies. Click on that little message button and record your voice. Don't forget to record your voice. Don't forget to enable your microphone so we can hear you.
Yeah.
And if you have a podcast of your own, send us an email with your promo. If you have a special episode that you would want us to feature you, we'll definitely do that the week that airs on our podcast. But and stuff like that, just send it to that tctrekkiespodcast@gmail.com. Genre of podcast is not required. And keep in mind that any feedback you do leave, vocal or written, may be featured in a future episode of Twin Cities Trekkies. All right, Lower Decks Season 2. Oh my gosh, this was a great season. That's all I gotta say. All right, take care. Yeah. Bye-bye.
I'm the highlight right off the bat for me, Tom Paris plate. That's all that was like my highlight of, all the other episodes I've seen so far have been great, but I just also, I loved seeing the Tom Paris plate.
Yes, Tom Paris, yeah. Voy, yeah. I want all the Voy people. I thought that was interesting hearing that Boimler calling the Voyager crew Voy.
Yeah, Voy.
I know. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I know it's a play on the acronym for Voyager. Even though the technical one is VGR, but people call it Voy.
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 Mm-hmm.
Hi, Voy. Yep. Yeah, that was a funny little. Yeah. A cringeworthy moment for me, and I know we mentioned this before, the Mugatos. The Mugatos mating and then one watching.
Yeah.
That was a little bit.
Yeah. There's definitely this season got a little more in your face.
Raunchy with the humor.
Yes, a lot of raunchy episodes for sure.
Like, what's his name? Oh crap. What's his name? The guy, the chief engineer guy. Oh, what's his name now? Oh,
Rutherford?
well, what? No, is boss. Oh, what's his name now?
I know. Yeah, I can't think of.
I can't think of his name right now. But he was the guy who abdicated the throne, and and stuff like that, and he would only be king of his planet if he had sex. So, oh gosh, that was another cringeworthy thing. Or it's naked time. Oh God. Shaq's saying that in the one with with all the trainings for the lower deckers, and the naked time scenario for Mariner, and they're all she's in the 10 floor and the lounge, and they're all naked and kissing each other.
Yep.
And that was way out there. I mean, it was just my personal taste of humor.
Yeah, I just thought it was all funny because I'm like, they're boldly going where no other Trek has gone before, that's for sure.
No kidding, especially with the raunchy humor like that. It's naked time. Oh gosh.
Oh.
I love that, because Shax and Tahana are there, and he comes out of the lounge area and just screams that at the top of his lungs. It's naked time. It's like, oh amazing. My gosh. Oh man, it was great. I mean, it was great.
I feel like they definitely set up some good chances for next season, though. I mean, to set up the different plots, though. I feel like that was kind of season 1 going into season 2, I mean, was nice. It just kind of felt like a continuation, though, I guess. But this feels like now there's going to be some actual plottage to look into the way it ended.
Yes, and I want to talk about that.
That's those last few episodes. The way I heard someone, I was talking with a friend who had watched it because I was like, I haven't seen it yet. And it's it feels like the series suddenly grew a beard in the last few episodes. So I was like, I like that.
They did. Yes, they did. They did grow a beard, and I know that Mike McMahon had said that the last half of season 2 was going to be bigger and better, and they succeeded wildly on that. Especially with the final episode, First Contact, the finale of season 2. We get to see, what's her name? Sonia Gomez for the first time.
Yeah.
So for the first time since season 2 of TNG, voiced by the same person, Lycia Naff.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It was great.
Yeah. I mean, granted, she had retired from acting at this point in her life.
Yeah.
But it was she comes back to the character that she did on Star Trek previously, and she actually had revealed that a while ago. The article was published by Trek Central that got retracted the next day. She had mentioned it somewhere. I think it was a Zoom meeting or a Zoom convention or something like that.
Yeah.
She had said that, I'm gonna be in Lower Deck season 2. Oh, cool! That is so cool. And we didn't know it would be the final episode, first contact, and stuff like that. But she had retired from acting at that point. But after Star Trek Next Generation, she's best known for being the three-breasted woman in Total Recall.
Yeah.
So, great movie.
Yes.
Yeah, the 1990 version, not the 2012 version.
I haven't seen the 2012, so.
I've seen the 1990 version. I love it. I mean, that movie is awesome. I love the movie. But that's beside the fact. She's the best known for that three-breasted woman in Venusville.
Yeah.
In that movie. So, but yeah, voiced by the same actress, Lycia Naff, and stuff like that. But The ending, folks, ends on a cliffhanger. And it is because Captain Freeman has been arrested for the destruction of Packwood Planet. And stuff like that. So, and Starfleet Security has hauled her away in chains, so to speak.
Yeah, it leaves this really weird feeling of like there's some sort of destabilization, like political destabilization going on. And this makes me wonder who's
Yes.
actually at fault. I'm like, is it classically the Klingons that are at fault? Like everyone blames the Klingons, or is it some weird, like, secret infiltration of, Romulans and Vulcans, or is it something planned out just to like upend the Federation? Who
Yeah.
knows?
Yeah. So Captain Freeman has been arrested, and that's the end of the season. And I want to mention this because I mentioned it. I put it in a group that you and I are a part of,
Yeah.
Star Trek Family. So, and I mentioned that I had hoped that the Kurtzman era would do this kind of ending for a season of a Star Trek show. I mean, I wasn't expecting it for Discovery or Picard. I mean, I know I mentioned this before. I mean, granted, the cliffhanger of season 1 for Discovery is when the Enterprise shows up for no reason.
Yeah.
But not an actual like to be continued kind of cliffhanger ending. This one did. I was expecting it on Strange New Worlds first, but I'll gladly take it.
Yeah.
I mean, I will gladly take it. I mean, I was expecting I know that Ron Jones is like one of the composers for Family Guy, and I know Chris Westlake is the main composer for Lower Decks. Chris Westlake is, and I was expecting Chris Westlake, to do like the iconic dun 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 at the end. But I was expecting that. I didn't. I mean, it was great how it ended, but I am glad that there is a cliffhanger finale that we now have to wait until probably next August to get the resolution for. This is something that you and I, who grew up after, I mean, granted, I was alive when Best of Both Worlds was out, but this is something that you and I can experience for the first time in this era of Trek. Is like a cliffhanger ending that you are wondering what the heck is going to happen to, especially to Captain Freeman and the Cerritos. And you're going like,
it
what?
Feels like such.
What's going to happen?
This reminds me of like TNG, like my dad talking about just that type of cliffhanger, and you just see Riker saying fire, and then you just have to wait for that, like previously on Star Trek, and then do the the conclusion. Just like,
yeah, it's like right now in this era of streaming, you have to wait like I don't know, a year or maybe more before you get a resolution. Well, granted, season 3 was in production when this episode aired. So, of Lower Decks.
Maybe they'll do a surprise like release of an episode or something weird. I don't know.
Who knows? But this is something that you and I can now experience.
Yeah.
That your dad experienced during the 3-month interim between the first and second parts of the Best of Both Worlds.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, our interim is longer, which is about, I'm going to say about 9 months, 8-9 months.
Yeah.
But
still a long time to wait.
Still a long time to wait. We don't know what's going to happen. It was just, if she gets arrested, it got this big pullback of the Cerritos and the Archimedes and stuff like that, and then to be continued. And it's like, I mean, it had a little vibes of the Menagerie 2-parter in the original series, but that was a two-parter within a season. So, but this is something that everybody who was born after 1990 can now experience. Like who loves lower decks, people who love Star Trek Lower Decks, and were born after the best of both worlds can now experience that kind of like anxiety and worry.
Yeah, now my dad gets to experience it twice. So like, how does it feel reliving that?
I mean, granted, yes, I was born during the middle of the third season of Next Generation, but I didn't experience that at all. My parents did, but I never did. So now you and I can experience that for the first time. And I'm like, that is brilliant. Mike McMahon, you succeeded wildly on this thing because it was just something that I did not expect. And I did not expect a cliffhanger finale. And I expected it on Stranger Worlds first, but I'll gladly take it.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it. Yeah, and I know the raunchiness was a little bit higher this time around because of certain things that granted could pull you out of being like on like this isn't Star Trek. This is more like Family Guy stuff.
I think it can be tough. It's not for everybody. I know, and that's like the biggest. I think for the most part, everyone I've talked to has generally like been a resounding. I really like Lower Decks. Like everyone I've talked to, but I think that was the only point of contention. I think of season 2 was some people being like not into that because not everybody, like everyone's got boundaries or stuff like that. And granted, everyone's a lot more open about things now, but I've heard people not complain, but just be a little uncomfortable. Like, oh, I would have rather not, but they can understand why it's funny, but it's just like not for them. Not all humor is for everybody, and even some people just were like, I just skipped it or just like ignored it.
Yeah, and some people say that I don't like it too, and I understand. I mean, I didn't like it at points, but because of that. But that's because it was like this is too much like Family Guy.
Yeah.
So I don't want Family Guy in my Star Trek.
Yeah.
I mean,
say that to the Orville. I'm just like, it's like say that to the Orville. I don't know.
Yeah. But that's Seth MacFarlane's humor.
Yeah, I like the Orville. I'm still to this day very much like the Orville. What's great, and then after Norm Macdonald passed away, that was kind of like a big thing, like that he was part of that show, and like that's some of his final voice work that he had done. So I definitely it has a place in my heart.
Yeah, I bet you they're going to dedicate the entire. I bet you when Orville comes back in March, they will probably have in loving memory of Norm Macdonald.
Seth MacFarlane and him were very close, so I guarantee that's going to be a big thing for him.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a big thing, especially for especially when it comes back in March with the Orville. So, I mean, granted, it's like we're about 4 months away from the Orville coming back after almost 2 years, after almost 2.5, almost 3 years.
Yeah,
coming back.
COVID was not kind to them.
No, COVID was not kind to them at all. I mean,
some other series were able to figure stuff out and make it work, but depending on where you're recording and who's involved, it's tough.
Yeah, they had like 3 stoppages the entire time they were doing it. I mean, one was longer than everyone else because Hollywood shut down.
Yep.
In March of 2020. So yeah, and then they came back, and then they had another COVID outbreak, and then another one did. It's like, oh gosh,
it's bad timing.
Yeah, COVID was not kind to the Orville. So and hopefully that will. I mean, granted, there have been rumors that this is actually the final year of the Orville, but I know that the head of Hulu and Seth MacFarlane want to continue it. I mean, but they want everyone to see it first.
Yeah.
So I wonder if it's gonna be week. I wonder if the Orville is gonna be weekly or is it gonna be all at once?
Yeah, It'd be interesting to see because they, I mean, infamously, like most
Hulu does more
shows
weekly
by,
stuff.
yeah, I was like, I think that's more their Historia. So it'll be interesting to see how they decide to go about that.
Yeah, because I know that Hulu has been doing it more often than Netflix does. Release
Hmm.
episodes on a weekly basis. I mean,
Yeah.
granted, Netflix probably has done that for some of its shows, but not all of them.
Yeah, they tend to be
But
more of the binge worthy
yes,
streaming channel. That's what they're kind of notorious for, is that people being able to binge episodes of stuff. So
yeah, and that's why in this era of binge watching, we finally get
yeah,
to experience that with Lower Decks.
yep,
So yeah, we finally get to experience that worry and anxiety about what's going to happen with the Cerritos and Captain Freeman.
who
Is she going to be
framed
found guilty?
Freeman? Yeah,
Yeah, is she. Oh yeah, hashtag free Freeman.
free Freeman. Free
Yeah,
Freeman.
yeah, free Carol Freeman. Hashtag free Carol Freeman.
Yeah,
Because I know she'll be acquitted because the
yeah,
Cerritos is not responsible. The Cerritos is not responsible for what happened.
yeah. Someone's
But
framing them, but it's like, who?
yeah, who is framing them? Is it the Klingons or is it the stupid Pakleds?
Yeah, is Packlet's doing something weird? I don't know. Blow up the. It seems like something they do is blow up their own planet to be
Well,
like, we need help.
yeah, it's like, yeah, we blew up our own planet. Can we blame Captain Janeway for this? Because remember, oh yeah, that was one thing. They when they went to Pakled planet,
Yeah.
and Freeman beams down with Shax, and and the Pakleds mention greet her as Captain Janeway. Oh, hi, Captain Janeway.
Yeah. God.
Oh, yeah. It's like I know that I know the Pakleds we know more about the Pakleds now than we ever did.
Yeah, they're like a really weird, like they're like, oh, they're kind of an enemy, but are they an enemy of themselves? Like they're kind of like they're smarter than
Yeah,
they seem for sure, but they're like you can't really tell what their intentions are except like being lazy and they just want other people to do stuff for them.
I thought the hierarchical structure was hilarious
Yeah.
because I mean it was all based on how bigger the crown was.
So dumb. But
It
also
was
so Packlid. I was just like reading
it
about
was
that
so
because I was
Pakled.
like, Packlid. And we got so much Packlid Historia now.
Yeah. I mean, granted, I mean, they were first introduced in the Next Generation, and then they were just mentioned off and on as like a throwaway like species. But then we get a lot of them in Lower Decks, and then it's like because the reason why we got it is because Mike McMahon's a huge TNG fan,
Yeah.
so that was the reason why we got him in the first place. But it's great. I mean, I love it. I mean, I can't wait for season 3, and I have a feeling it will probably be around the same time next year when season 3 comes back to resolve this situation with
I just hope they
Captain
do the
Freeman.
same monologue in TNG of like, and now the
Yeah,
conclusion. I'm like, please
yeah. Please, what's her name?
throw back
Tawny
to the
Newsome. Please do it. Please do it.
yeah, do the voice.
Yeah, yeah. Please, Tawny Newsome, just do it. Like last time on Star Trek Lower Decks, and
Yes.
now the conclusion.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I know that they do it at the beginning of every season for Discovery. It's always Sonequa Martin Green who she says previously on Star Trek Discovery. Which by the way, she's now a producer. I forgot to
Oh,
mention that.
nice.
She is now
Congrats
she
to
is now a
her.
producer. She is now obviously she receives top billing for the show. And yeah, in the opening credits for season 4, she's mentioned as a producer, as producer. So I meant to mention that. Yeah, and Blue Del Barrio, who plays Adira, is now a star. Is now one of the build stars
Oh,
of Discovery. So that's kind of nice.
good to see.
So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens like that. I mean, I hope. Speaking of Discovery, I mean, I'm hoping that Adira. I mean, I hope Gray comes back and everyone sees
Yeah.
them. So So because at the end of season 3, we only Saru and Culber saw him, in addition
Yep.
to Adira. But now they're trying to get him into his body, so into a
Yeah.
body. Yeah, kind of like they mentioned it. Actually, they mentioned Brent Spiner's doing it to Picard in the final
Hmm.
episode of Picard season 1. So it was a nice little tie into that. So, and of course, if you want to catch up with the other, like the Star Trek Logs Instagram account, they always have logs from the characters recorded by. Yep, if you want to know like aftermath of certain things or something like that,
Yeah.
is they had Cetacean Ops. I forgot about mentioning that Cetacean Ops for the first time in Star Trek. I forgot about that. They had the dolphins, Matt.
Yeah. So for the flippers.
Yeah, and I think if I'm not mistaken, I know that they had a little sexual humor with that.
They're a bunch of perverts.
One of them had like a crush on Rutherford.
Yeah.
No, it was hilarious. That was hilarious, and it's like, and they were squeaking, and it's like, oh, get your body in here. I want. Say, get your body in here. Yeah, it's great. Season this
Curvy.
whole.
I was like, one of my friends was saying it's the sexiest Star Trek. Enterprise got nothing on all that.
The whole naked time thing. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
Oh yeah. With
officially
Enterprise.
sexiest Star Trek of all series.
Yeah, yes, Enterprise started it, and then like brought it up to like 5, and then Lower Decks with the naked time thing jumped it up to 11.
Yeah,
It's naked time.
it's naked time. That's season 2 in review,
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah, it pretty much it is. It pretty much is because it's hilarious, and it's like, oh, I like the when Mariner does the mirror universe encounter, and she meets the mirror Boimler.
Yeah.
And he goes, our Mariner is left-handed. It's like, kill her.
God.
Oh god, yeah, and with the Borg babies, oh my gosh, they were the cutest things ever.
Yeah.
In that,
Like,
because
that's gonna be the ruin of all of Trek, is seeing Borg babies, because that's how they win. That's all you got to do.
yeah, exactly, because it was Boimler who was doing that scenario, and tried to get 100% doing it the right way. It meets the Borg Queen and stuff like that, and a voice cameo by Alice Krieg and stuff like that. It mentioned about him sweating and stuff like that. And it was hilarious. I forgot what she said. It was like something that so un-Borg like.
Yeah.
Something about his sweat going like, oh, that's not healthy. You should drink more water. And it's like, oh. But he's like trying to rescue Borg babies and stuff like that. And it's like he has them like tied up on his waist and carrying them up and escaping the Borg cube and stuff like that. That's hilarious. Oh gosh. And the whole lower decker stuff, other ships, that was funny too. They had like one of the episodes called We Doch, which is the first ever Klingon title ever in Star Trek, and actually and the title is written in Klingon. We Doch, 3 ships. There was a lower decks of a Klingon ship and a lower decks of a Vulcan ship with a Vulcan who had emotional outbursts like T'Pol and Savick. So that was great. And then at the end of the episode, the lower decks of a Borg cube, and it was just like dead silence. Everyone's in the machinery.
Yep. I mean, that's how I'd imagine it sounds.
Yeah, so it was, that's pretty much what it was, and that's season 2 in a nutshell. And and I hope you get to watch the rest of it, Kenzie, because because I know you've had.
I'm like, I know I'll like it. I enjoy Lower Decks much. It's like a love letter written for and by Star Trek fans.
Yes, and totally, and I know that Riker, he was in the first 2 episodes of season 2, with being the captain of the Titan and all, but he wasn't that like rowdy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like he did a few kind of like funny things in TNG and stuff like that, and you see him on the Titan and lower decks. He's like this like cowboy in space kind of person, is like having fun, like I know my job. Why was space being worked by that anomaly?
Yeah.
I know my job. Oh gosh, and he's just like he's rowdy in lower decks, and then he's right back to his normal self in Picard.
Yeah.
And it's like back to like more of like a what's the word to describe it? A very like sullen Riker.
Yeah.
So
cool guy.
Because of
real
his
cool guy.
Yeah, like he's like a real cool guy. So that's what I gotta say. But
cool guy energy.
Yeah, I guess that's about it. Any final thoughts, Kenzie?
Just go out and watch your episodes. If you're a little averse to raunchy humor, you can look up which episodes those are, but don't let it discourage you. Yeah, don't let it discourage you, because it's so worth it. Especially the last few episodes I've heard just great.
Yes.
So.
Yes, they are. They are very great, and especially the last one, first contact. So.
Or you just put off watching it so you don't have to feel the pain, and just watch it right before it comes out. Summer.
Yeah, and I know that my dad has Paramount Plus, and he likes Lower Decks, and I told him about the raunchy humor of season 2, and I'm going like, Dad, if you just like get past it, you'll be fine. Yeah. So, I mean, because he doesn't really like that kind of humor. So it's like, and I didn't really like it either, but because it just felt like that was too much like on the nose with Family Guy.
Yeah.
But it was great. So it was so great. I pushed through it. I thought it was a little bit out there, but it was still funny.
Yeah.
So I give this season a perfect 10 out of 10. Yeah. Because they blew it out of the water, and I expect the same kind of quality and humor for season 2. Season 2 as it will be for season 3.
Yep.
So, all right. So until next time, take care and live long and prosper.
Live long and prosper.